I'm on a journey to Tuol, the Dodonpachi series, and this, Daifukkatsu or Resurrection, is the final game that we need to have cleared a version of all the mainline Dodonpachi games. Whenever you defeat the final boss, if you meet certain requirements, you enter the second loop of the game, where you play the game again, but with much more difficulty. Daifukkatsu is unique for the DDP series because in the first loop, you have the normal Omote route, and then you have the secret URA route with different stage sections and mid-bosses triggered by killing these silos here before they get run over by the tanks. To enter the Omote second loop, you have to accomplish one of these three conditions, with the easiest one being just to grab at least 35 bees, because you want to be grabbing the bees anyway to build up your hyper meter. Omote is the easier of the two loops because your hyper rank, which causes bullets to resist being cancelled by your hyper, resets after each stage, and you only have to fight one TLB, Taisabachi, at the end. I think Omote is probably the easiest DDP to-all because Taisabachi is not much of a resource check and the entrance into the loop is pretty free. But that's not what we're here to do. We're here to challenge the URA second loop. URA has the nastiest requirements we need to meet to enter the second loop. In stage 1, we have to get on the URA secret route. That's fine. We must collect every single bee. There's 45 of them, that's also fine, but the real problem is that we cannot bomb more than twice in a game where we have auto bombs, so we have 2 mistakes worth of leeway or we're knocked completely out from entering the loop. The loop itself is like the Omote loop, but the Zako helicopters are shooting 3-way spreads now. Our hyper rank does not fully reset in between stages, so the revenge bullets are a much bigger problem. And after we defeat Taisabachi at the end of the game, we must then immediately fight the true final boss, Hibachi. The URA loop is in an interesting place because despite loop 1 being a fairly easy run, you have little room for error, and the second loop itself has really hard execution. But you have so many resources, and the auto bomb is unbelievably good. Really good. There's no risk of you being clipped and losing all your bombs in stock. You don't even lose your hyper when you get tagged with the auto bomb. You still keep that intact, so your hyper is still good. So even if you get hit in a really hard section, you just keep your route going. I would put URA as harder than Donpachi to-all, but much easier than DDP or Diojo. And why is that? Because I cleared this game on my first attempt. After learning the game, if you can meet the URA requirement into the second loop, you're kinda just gonna clear the game. It's too lenient with resources, and Hibachi is nowhere near the menace they are to your resources, as he is in like DDP or Diojo. We're going to be using Be Strong in our run. You really want to be on a strong ship so both your shot and laser are huge, and the downside of fewer bombs doesn't matter because later lives will have a bigger stock. The B ship can cover the entire screen very easily, while also having enough speed to macro around bullets, easier than say like the C ship, which is much more sluggish. This route is based off of Seryu's runs, the same Seryu who was the first one to clear Imbachi in SDOJ. He has 2 runs of the same route, and Asagami has also been recently posting a bunch of DFK replays, so there are a ton of great references to learn from. I stream my attempt live along with the silly Omote clear. I'll put it in the description, but now let's get into the start of the URA loop. We're going to begin this run starting at the end of the first loop, so we've just killed the 1-5 end boss. And now we've reached this screen instead of the credits because we met some loop requirements. So now how do we know if we made it to the Omote or the URA loop? We're going to look at Longhina here. Now, if we've reached the Omote loop, which is the much easier one to hit, we're going to see it's going to be way darker. We're not going to see him. He's like a shadow. It's going to be all red. If we've hit the URA loop, we're going to see this lightning on the bottom. We're going to see Longhina clearly. This is how we know that we have reached the URA loop. And now that we have reached the URA loop, while you can fall out of it in the first loop and get back on the Omote path, you're like out of the secret sections. Here, we don't have to worry about falling out of it if we die or anything. We don't have to trigger the URA loop with this stage 1, the like silos. We're now just there. We don't have to think about it. Now we just have to not die. And these Zakos, you're going to see, they're either going to have like these boats, these extremely concentrated streams at limited angles, or we're going to get these wide spreads from these Zakos, and we're going to have to memorize all those. We're looking at killing all of these mid-sized enemies. That's how we're lining ourselves up. And on this third one on the left, we're going to pop our hyper. It's going to let us kill the tanks, the rest of these, so all these Zakos don't cause issues. and it lets us deal with all of these tanks. We don't want to be dodging as much as possible, and there's a few bees at the starting section. I picked that one up while it was orange. You need to pick them up while they're transitioning or when they're green to build some hyper, because we want it for the mid-boss. Luckily, there's a bunch of enemies here. Now, we're trying to align ourselves on the second wave. Where the second wave of this starts, if we pop hyper, we sit in between the turret and the boss. We build up a bunch of damage, a bunch of hyper, and we don't have to do any dodging there because we've auto-dodged the first two waves and they're baited off to the side. We're doing this shit where if you laser enemies who are off-screen, but not damageable, but you can still aura them, you get the hyper without damaging them, you get a bunch of hyper. We don't have to worry about that too much because there's these two green ones here. Now these three-way spreads, we're trying to tap until we kill the mid-sized enemies, then we go the other way around. Unfortunately here, I kind of been moving up and around the mid-sized enemies, so I'm not killing the Zakos very fast, so we had to do a little bit of dodging there. It wasn't super clean, but your hitbox, really small in this game. Now, we're going to do the boss. We're waiting for these pink shots to just hit us. Now, we hyper on the turret and the boss. We build our hyper completely. If we want to make this third wide blue wave easier, we can use shot for a sec to lag the game. But we don't do too much damage. The whole point of that hyper, not only for the speed kill and to build us another hyper, is that dangerous overlap of the blue bullets, it's timed so it deletes that, so we don't have to do any dodging there. If you use shot to lag the game, to make that opening section a little bit easier, then you do have to dodge for a little bit at the end there. It's not too bad. That's how all of the bosses are going to work. We really want to use setups to kill them as quickly as possible because these bosses are really hard to dodge. So we really need to use our bombs and our hypers to deal with them as easily as possible. And if we do, they go from like really terrifying patterns to something that's not too bad to deal with. For stage 2, we're going to macro all the spreads of all these Zakos, and we want to really focus on these big ships here. We're going to get locked into a lane by these blue bullets, and then we have these pink bullets. These pink bullets are going to wall us off for moving to the left or the right. So we want to make sure that we're leaning towards the direction we want to go. We want to go to the left so we don't get walled off on the right side by the pink. We're picking up this B just to make it so that these tanks give us a good angle. You see they're shooting horizontally. These mid-sized ships here, there's not too many of them, and if we stick on one side for too long, the other ones will come in and linger some bullets. See this one here? We move to the right to go over to kill this one, but because we need to move to the left, the next big enemy's on the left side, we need to make sure we're moving to the left as soon as these pink bullets are out. Otherwise, we're not going to be ready to kill this one. There's going to be a bunch of bullets lingering on screen, and then we'll die. We're getting ready for the mid-boss. We're not going to do the score strat where we keep it alive and farm hits off it. We want to kill it as fast as possible. How do we do that? We have our hyper. As soon as we're about to be hit, we pop hyper. That gets us through this first wave. There's a B here for meter. Whenever we're using shot, even if we aren't canceling things here, we are lagging the game and making it easier. Now we're going to see our first revenge bullets. Whenever we cancel bullets with our shot like this, these aimed bullets will come out. So we want to kill enemies fast so they don't shoot too many bullets out, so we don't get too many revenge bullets. We're going to pick that up. You see it's flashing in between. We pick up a B. Whenever it's green or flashing, we get some meter. We're just trying to delay killing these just to keep a little bit of a chain. Though we don't really have much to do up there. You see, because these enemies are at the top of the screen, they're not fully spawned in, we can farm this hyper off here. This section is pretty hard. This is the easiest way I've found that I've liked to do it. We pop this hyper as soon as this tank's in. We pick up these two Bs so our hyper's filled up. We kill Zakos on the left, on the right. That way the revenge bullets are easier to deal with. Here we're just tapping. Everything there was aimed. We have a little bit of hyper left, so we're going to keep going to the right, even though all these revenge bullets are coming out. They're all aimed, so we have enough room if we go slow. There's a bunch of Bs here, so we're going to pop another hyper. Trying to pick up all these Bs to refill that hyper for the boss. We want to be up on the left for those Zakos, up on the right for this enemy here, so that these revenge bullets are contained. Otherwise, the revenge bullets start walling you off. We hold our laser whenever we move to the side here, because otherwise you keep getting revenge bullets as you get stuck on the side. We kill this bomb carrier at a specific time. So listen here, 1, 2, 3. Now we go over to kill it. This means that this bomb, we have max bombs right now, and if we go pick up this bomb, then we're losing a bomb usage. We want that bomb for the second phase. So there are turrets on this enemy. And then there's the boss itself. If we're in between both of them, we're getting double the meter. We're hitting like multiple things at once, building more meter. Our hyper runs out. As soon as it runs out, we pop hyper again. And because of the way we killed the bomb won't be in the way. We won't accidentally pick it up. The bomb hitbox is huge. This is just a tapping pattern, and by the time it's not a tapping pattern, our hyper runs out and we move up. See, we're in between a turret and the boss itself, so we're killing it very quickly. We're going to pop a bomb since it's completely free. We have this floating bomb, and by now we should build another hyper. You have a lot of post-invuln after your bomb, so you can sit there for a while, building up any hyper that you might need to hopefully get it by then. Otherwise, we have to dump another bomb there. Luckily, we get so many bomb resources that even if you do, the route messes up a little bit. We don't have the hyper for the very end there. You're just losing like one bomb where we have a ton of bombs. And because the auto bombs don't take all of our bombs like an SDOJ, it's fine. Stage 3, we have to manage revenge bullets a lot better. Here's kind of if you want to deal with them pretty good. I bet you checked your Discord right now. We want to be up top so that we're killing enemies as fast as possible. And then we dip downwards in case any revenge bullets spawn. If we keep sitting at the bottom or we're not hitting things as they spawn immediately, they'll get time to shoot and then they'll get more revenge bullets. Once our hyper's done, we macro everything and then we laser on the side here. We're trying to kill these 3 specific mid-sized planes in the middle. You see, we blew up one, and now there are these 2 here. We're holding shot. We don't care about the bees under us. We're killing those and then moving off to the side. You see these blue bullets in the middle? These, like a Scion spreads of bullets in the middle, and then these Scion spreads on the right side. You don't kill these quickly. Those will tend to overlap and wall you from moving off to the left side here. We had to pause there because that's the spookiest part. The rest of this we could get through with this type of a routing. We're using our shot to take out the turrets on this. If we hit these big lasers on the side, then we're actually hitting the thing shooting the laser, and we're not getting blocked off by the big laser itself and not doing any damage. We just keep tapping here. We hold laser here. Everything that rams us dies to the aura, and we can kill this enemy, which gives us a cancel. This looks a bit spooky, but this ship will give us another cancel, so we only have to dodge for a little bit. We're going to go on the right side, and now we're going to macro the Zakos just like this and get ready for the next big enemy section. We got this big building. We're holding shot here to lag the game, because otherwise these dodges are fairly hard. We still do a bunch of damage here, and now we have to deal with this next big enemy. There's 2 turrets on each side. We're trying to clear out both on each, and then once we kill it, we get a cancel. We're sitting over here. We're trying to get these bees so that we can pop hyper, refill our hyper with the bees. There's another bee right here. Now we're at a tug of war with the revenge bullets. We're trying to sit up top. We're trying to be a little bit in the middle so we're hitting everything so they don't have time to shoot any bullets. And we're trying to navigate around these revenge bullets. We're doing a pretty good job. There's barely any revenge bullets. And then once we make it over here, we just need to kill this big enemy and then we'll get a free cancel. We had to dodge for a little bit. We didn't even need to use the cancel because our hyper ran out, but we do have that one available if we need to like laser in and kill it really quickly. We're just trying not to get caught by any pink bullets here. This boss is not bad at all because as soon as it shoots, we pop hyper. Both those turrets up front die, and now it's waiting for its pattern to be over, and it has no turrets to shoot any pattern. We don't need to pick up the... We picked up like... there's 2 bees there. We only picked up one of them. We don't need the other one. We don't need any requirements anymore. There's a way to chain into here, but it's going to make the next section harder, so we just drop the chain. We don't really care for score. Once enemies start pouring in here, we're going to keep tapping, tapping, tapping. We're going to switch directions as soon as these turrets up top shoot these pink bullets. You see these pink bullets that have a darker interior and then a lighter pink outside? Once that happens, we'll now make a cut around. And that's how we'll get around all of these. They're all aimed, so they're easy to deal with. We're trying to keep holding laser. So we kill this. There's 2 cancels because of this building. It's a super huge cancel. So just as soon as you pop it, we can clear out everything. We need to kill 2 of these tanks on the left and then move over to these ones to the right. It makes it so that we can get up personal with these. Macroing around them gets a lot easier. We want to kill these turrets on the sides and then hyper here. We're trying to kill this as fast as possible. Now here's some spooky revenge bullets. You just pick like a diagonal and I don't tend to be hit there. They're all aimed directly on you. So they'll all miss you. You just have to dodge the initial wave. It's really spooky to get hit here because this section is not only pretty hard, but we do really want these 2 hypers filled up. We want our hyper set up for this boss. We have max bombs right now, so we can freely use a bomb on this first phase. And then we don't have to deal with... There's a slightly spooky dodge at the end of this first phase before we actually kill it, so that way we get to skip it. We're going to lag the game with shot here. It makes it so that we can actually dodge these for a little bit, and as soon as the boss hits the right side, we'll pop hyper. We're now invuln for the rest of this pattern. We don't have to worry about dodging. We're going to macro 3 waves of this, and then we're going to sit still for half of this wave, and then hold shot, and move all the way our ass over. Now we kill it really fast with this point blank and build some hyper. Before this pattern even really starts and we have to do any dodging, it's already dead. We're going to start here because we can hit it up there. We're building up any hyper that we missed and doing a bunch of damage. We want to be on the very, very, very right side of these blue bullets. And if we keep doing that, we won't have any weird crosses with these pink pyramids. If you go too quickly or try going on the side of the pink pyramids, the gaps between the blue and the pink triangles are going to be really, really scary. So we just line ourselves based off the blue ones, just on the very right side of the blue bullets, and then we don't have to think about anything else. The rest of it misses. This next stage is super routing intensive and has a whole lot going on, so we're going to go rapid speed. At the start of here, we're going to mix between using our shot and our laser because we want to cancel lasers and kill big enemies, but we need to kill the Zakos also, so we're mixing them so the Zakos die. As soon as we kill this right wave, we move up. If we hold laser moving up, we'll get hit by bullets. We need to keep tapping between laser and not laser so we get the speed. Here we're tapping between laser and not laser so we kill these tanks. And we deal with the Zakos. We want to hyper as late as possible so that we could get to this section holding laser so we don't spawn any revenge bullets. If we can start this big enemy on the left and tapping over here, then the revenge bullets are manageable because they're just coming from the one source. These are slightly annoying. You need to be hard in the middle of them so that they don't spawn any bullets. These big enemies, however, they have a spooky pattern, but we can kill them all just up here, and we're getting point blank the whole time. Before anything happens, we deal with them. We need to be positioned right here so that these linger as few bullets as possible. We need to be right in the middle. This is one of the dicier sections. The blue bullets are a spread like in front and behind us, so we're really just dodging the red ones, and we're holding laser and just slightly moving. The blue bullets will be ahead of us. So if we go slow, we're fine. We're just watching for any edge case bullets that might have been like a weird turret angle that might have caused a problem and we need to move forward faster. You need to move slowly on the bottom there too, because if you do that on the sides, you'll get hit by the blue aimed bullets. This boss, we're waiting for 3 waves of the pink and then we're going to pop hyper. Those dodges are easy and we bait this mid-boss up top. See how he's shooting these red bullets? He keeps moving up and up and eventually he's going to move his turrets off screen, so that he won't be shooting these red anymore. Now it's completely free for us to move up top. We get meter off him, we get point-blank damage off him, and by the time he goes back and loops back to his first pattern, it's pretty much going to be dead, or like by the time we have to do a couple dodges, he's dead. We need to be positioned right in the middle of these. We had some slowdown, so it's a bit easier to find the middle. Otherwise, they linger too many annoying shots. After those 2 waves, we just tap to the right, just not running into any red. The blues auto-miss. These boats up here aren't a problem because they have really hard angles they shoot. They'll probably just be shooting straight down. They're easy to deal with. We just memo which ones are boats, which ones are flying Zakos, and then we start the section over here. We're holding laser and moving. We're a bit high on screen so that these tanks we could just move down, and now those like wide streams won't wall us. We want to be on the very sides of these Zakos are a pain in the ass. Very sides of them. This section has like the most amount of bullets we've seen so far, but because everything's aimed, we just keep tapping. We tap slowly, we kill these big enemies. Even if we have to dodge these spreads here, the slowdown is so much, it's fine. You go like finesse in between them, it's totally cool. This is actually a bit of a reprieve. We're trying to stay in the middle to kill these Zakos fast, but we want to start this section on the left. We need to go really slowly on these mid-sized planes. If we go fast, then they'll live. They're like in stacks of 2. We move up so that these tank angles are hitting like a horizontal angle. We need to macro around everything, being super careful. They're all aimed, so it's like less scary than it looks, but you get a little knot in your stomach whenever you have to move around these enemies. We're sitting in the middle, trying to last as long as we can, killing the turrets. These flying enemies that pop up, that's when we want to pop hyper. I didn't lap this section super hard. I probably should have lapped it more because now we got to deal with revenge bullets and lasers. We're just trying to kill one of these so we get the cancel. Once you kill one of the big enemies, you just chain all 3 of them and there's no bullets that can happen. We're sitting up top because there's look at our hyper. We built so much hyper there and we're point blanking this enemy here. It dies really fast because we're point blanking it with hyper as well. And now we're just about at the end. We just clean these up. I like to kill the tanks on the right first because those ones can actually shoot you as you're trying to kill the first one. By the time you've chained all 3, the tanks stop shooting. It's fine. We actually have this free bomb to use here on the boss. I don't even think we even used it because I just wanted to stick on the route because we have such strict ways we want to do a setup on the boss. I kind of just ignored the bomb. We want to kill the right side and the left side. Now we have these 2 in the middle. We want to kill one side of them, but not the other. If we kill the other, then the boss will progress to its next pattern. If we do this, we get all of this point blanking time. We're going to pop Hyper as soon as even if it doesn't hit us like that, we want to pop it around this timing. And now we need to build Hyper without doing too much damage to the boss. We built our full Hyper. We're good. We bait it off to the side so it doesn't shoot any bullets. It's easy to dodge just the boss itself and not this option she has. We're not shooting for the second wave because we want to have our Hyper here. All of these satellites are going to give us so much energy, and we're going to point blank the boss. We stop shooting. We shoot whenever she returns to her original position and holds shot. It's going to lag everything, so while we're not doing as much damage as laser, it's fine. We're going to wait for the second ball here. If we get in the middle of all of these, we build so much Hyper. I did a little too much damage. You're supposed to build all of your Hyper off that, but we should be, we have enough that we should be able to build enough Hyper before we need to use it at the start of the next stage. And oh boy, fucking stage 5 is about the entire run time of the game so far in one stage. It is a very cool stage, but you see, we pretty much, this route's gone pretty much perfectly so far. We have full bombs. We have all of our lives. We haven't been really clipped anywhere. That's about to change in stage 5. There's a lot of small details in stage 5, and it goes on for a long time. The length of the next stage I found wasn't actually really a problem. You kind of just be grooving with it. But there are a ton of mistake points and a lot of tiny details you need. So we're going to see how this goes, and we need to set up the TLBs. So we're coming into this stage with a Hyper already activated. We do have revenge bullets, but if we sit in the middle here, we kill stuff fast enough that there's barely any revenge bullets. When our Hyper is about to run out, see, we're still in the middle here, but we see our Hyper around our ship that's about to run out. We need to get ready, so we position ourselves on the top right. So we're building Hyper and killing this first laser here. As soon as that happens, we need to get around, and we need to be high up on this tank. We're trying to kill this tank as fast as we can, and we're baiting all the Zako shots so they're off to the left side. Tank's dead. We now hold shot so this laser doesn't shoot revenge bullets, and then we pop laser again to cancel it. I clipped myself there, but luckily I clipped and then popped Hyper so we didn't lose our Hyper usage. We now have to manage some pretty spooky revenge bullets. I don't do a too good job here, but sitting in the middle, we kill stuff fast, but that laser's a problem. If we kill these lasers, they're going to spawn a bunch of bullets. I get so worried about those that I don't end up popping a laser here to cancel out the laser from the left, but luckily we managed to finesse our way through these lasers. As you're lasering them, they shoot bullets instead of the laser, so you just need to laser a split second and then switch to shot and ram through them. Here we're tapping. This is one of the easier sections. We're getting ready for the mid-boss. We're getting the URA mid-boss here. We're getting a couple mid-bosses because the stage is so long. But if we keep tapping like this, these enemies aren't a problem. I have a specific setup here in order to get the right amount of damage we want. We sit in the middle. We move to the left side whenever the life bar fills up. And then whenever the turrets like activate, then we start to move down. We're tapping here. We don't actually want to kill it at this point. We want it to still have a bit of health left because this elevator we're moving downwards on has like a fixed distance starting with this boss spawning. So we wait a bit, then we'll Hyper it towards the end and sit up top while we're invuln and everything's still spawning. We build a ton of Hyper. And now at this point, it's another tug-of-war like stage 3. We're trying to sit in the middle so everything dies fast. These lasers are bastards. We need to kill those really fast with our shot so that they don't have a time to arc around and then cause a bunch of bullets to spawn and then henceforth a bunch of revenge bullets. We did a pretty good job here. Once we run out of Hyper, it's time. So now we can just stream everything. Everything's aimed. We just keep slowly tapping to the right, and we'll get to the very bottom of this section here. If you want to hold your chain, you just hold laser on the top right here. There's like an off-screen enemy. We're going to macro these, hold laser. Macro these with shot, hold laser. And now we get up top. I get clipped here, unfortunately, because I did laser too fast, so I didn't kill the Zakos. We're waiting for 3 waves of these red, and then we're going to pop Hyper, wait for this to be flashing in between, so we build meter. I didn't use shot to kill these tanks up top. Now we got to deal with tanks and the bullets from canceling these lasers. Somehow we make fucking dodges. I don't know how. You're supposed to kill the tanks. That's way easier. We're going to get stuck here, but luckily at this timing, our Hyper will cancel everything. We move up top, and we're going to Hyper once we hit these laser wheels up top. We're going to sit on this exact laser wheel, because if we do, these tanks on the left side can't hit us. They shoot down or like at an angle to the right that won't hit us. We keep holding laser because we don't want revenge bullets, and since everything's aimed, tapping is easier than trying to cancel revenge bullets. Our Hyper will run out here, and now here's the setup. We're going to move around that second set of blue, and now we're going to dodge this exact, look at this first diagonal lane of red bullets we're going to get in. We're going to hold shot because everything's slow, so our shot speed's not a problem, and then tap laser for a sec to build us a pathway through. This is the scariest ass section of this entire stage. We need to start here tapping right, tapping right. Everything's aimed, so the only thing I'm worried about is not getting rammed by these laser wheels, moving up a little bit so that this wheel doesn't hit us, and watching these pink bullets that are a problem. I cannot believe we made it through here. That's like the hardest part of the stage that I then fuck up here because I moved down and to the left when you need to move up and to the right using your iframes to use shot to kill the enemies so that we don't get walled in and we can't cancel them fast enough. Our rank is too high, but luckily here we got back on a route like as if we had hyper, and this building gives us a cancel. We just had to make it to there in time. I'd positioned there wrong. We're waiting for these lasers. As soon as the laser pops, you need to tap your own laser to cancel that, and then we follow this laser lane. We're gonna hang out up here until we can get within these blue bullets and move around, and this section, which looks fucking terrifying, is completely fine because we're lining ourselves up right here. Look at our ship's hitbox and then look to the left. You see by the B, there's a little notch in the background to the very hard right of the B. We line ourselves up with that, and the rest of this is static. Like, we're just watching pink bullets. These laser wheels automatically miss. Those 3 red bullets will always happen there. It's completely static once we get into that position. We're going to hyper last second, pick up the B, get some hyper meter off these. Everything's in slowdown, so our hyper invuln is lasting a really long time. Here's the boss, not final boss. It's a lot easier than the first loop because we have this hyper available. Holding the shot to lag the game, it makes getting through these easy. And with this setup, our hyper is going to run out before the end of this pattern happens. So we get bonus time to point blank here. It's getting ready to start its next pattern if everything went fine. Then we've canceled it, and even though it played the boss music, psych, we're still only halfway through the stage. It actually goes by pretty fast whenever you're playing it. Anyway, these you don't need a route for. You can just finesse these. They're oddly easy to bait. However, once we get to the next section, we're going to deal with a huge tank and a bunch of enemies. So we're going to move our way from left to right so that we're at this right position to get ready for this tank. We're holding shot to kill Zakos and slow the game down, and then once these bullets start to reach us from the big tank, we'll hold hyper, it'll be dead. This building doesn't become active for a long time, so we build a ton of hyper off it. You need to do this exact movement. I like to do these exact lefts and rights based off which bullets are happening when. And our hyper will end off here. We could kill this big enemy here. Because we're up top, it's easy to macro around everything. It positions ourselves so that we can point blank this big tank really fast before it can even do anything. Now we get a break while nothing's on screen. We're going to start here and tap to the right, tap to the right. And then we're going to start getting... We keep slowly going, and now we're going to move up and around these. We keep holding shot so that we can make sure we kill all these mid-sized enemies. We're going to keep holding shot for these because it lags the game. Otherwise, it's so hard to deal with these. Holy shit, how did we live? Actually, I think I backed into a bullet here. That's so good dodges into killing ourselves. All right, we're going to start on the side here and then move our way around. And while it looks like these bullets come really close to us, we pop hyper here. It gets us through the actual sections the bullets will be a problem, and due to the angles of these tanks, they can't hit us. We kill these tanks, these planes in line, and then go back to kill another 3 in line from right to left. We kill one building on the left, and then we move over here. It dies really fast because of hyper, and then we would have gotten a hyper cancel if we didn't kill it. We start on the left, move over here. I use shot to get ourselves a little bit faster while not shooting for too long. It's always a bit scary there. You just need to get to that section starting there fast. That's why we use the shot. These are all just aimed here. Here's a DOJ cannon. As soon as things get spooky, we hold hyper. We sit in the middle of the DOJ cannon because it deletes the second wave of the blue bullets before our hyper invuln runs out. So when our hyper invuln is out, we're just dealing with Zako bullets. All right, time to deal with some easy revenge bullets. They're not too bad to deal with. Our hyper runs out, and as soon as our hyper runs out, we position here. Tap to the side, more streaming. And now we need to stream the other way once we get these fast planes. They can build us so much hyper here. You build a lot. We want to build hyper before here because we want to pop hyper. Our hyper timer won't go until the boss happens. We pick up both of those, so our hyper's in a good spot right now. All right, we're going to sit up here, point blank. We move down before it starts. We're holding laser. And now, as soon as these blue bullets happen, we hold shot. It lags the game. While we can't cancel the bullets, it does slow them down. We're mostly looking at the blue bullets. Those are the problems. We get up top. We hyper as soon as our invuln's out. We bomb once we think our invuln's out. I do too much fucking damage here, which is blowing our entire setup now. We need to build hyper here while not doing too much damage to the boss. We're point blanking it to build the hyper, but unfortunately I've done too much. What you're supposed to do is you hyper the second wave as it comes out. So you build a shit ton of hyper for all of them. I got up there too late and I did too much damage. What you're supposed to do at this point is you're supposed to hold shot to lag these so that they kind of build gaps, because some of them will be slowed and some don't. And then we move up top, pop a hyper, and then sit on both the boss. Both of the bosses will generate us hyper if we sit on both of them. It generates enough for us to have an entire new one and for us to go into the next boss with the hyper active, which is going to set up the first TLB so that we could kill it with only like 2 bombs. It's really easy, actually. If you do that fucking setup, I hate this boss so much, man. I cannot stand how tight it is to get that setup working. There's probably something better you have to do, but doing it that way makes the first phase not impossible, and the second phase you can skip. But you just gotta not damage the boss too bad in that second phase, otherwise our hypers are all whacked. So we're actually gonna go right into the TLBs because we're in the URA loop. We're gonna fight Taisabachi. If you're in a multi, you only fight Taisabachi. If you're in the URA loop, you fight both of them, Taisabachi and Hibachi. Because our hypers are fucked, we're going to spend a lot of bombs. It's not going to be a very clean. If you actually watch our stream where we were doing this, right after I do this clear run, then I show what it looks like to do a clean. Like, I did a YouTube short of Taisabachi, how you do it with like 1 or 2 bombs. It's really not that bad. And then I show also in that stream, if you want to see the super clean Hibachi. So we're supposed to have a hyper active going into this, so I'm trying to build it as fast as possible so I can pop it, so it can be at least on the part we want it for. So I'm just desperate to go up, pop hyper, so we can get through this first pink wave. We're going to have to dodge another pink wave, but when we're holding this first phase here, when we're holding shot, we're lagging the game so much, it's really easy to deal with these. We want to be in the middle as these pink bullets start, so that we can always consistently move in this exact pathway, because these pink bullets are aimed on you. Unfortunately, the hyper timing's all jacked. So we have to deal with all these. We would be here tapping hyper so that we hyper while moving out along with these. You build so much hyper by point blanking all these enemies at once that you got hyper without being hit. But since our setup's all whacked, we're supposed to be like several blocks ahead of where we are. So now we have to figure out how to fix this. Luckily, we have a hyper built up right now. You see these 2 ovals? They're moving off to the sides. We want to be on the left one because the right one is the first one that's going to drop, because it's the lower down one. We want to be on the left side, and as late as possible, we need to pop hyper and move up through, and now we just need to worry about blue bullets. We're just dodging blue bullets, dodging blue. I got tagged here, so we lose out on some point-blank damage and with our hyper. You hold shot here, and it's easier to get through these. Now I'm just like, everything's a disaster. We're just going to pop bomb and try to point-blank at the top right. You hit the shoulder up here. It's hitting both the shoulder and the boss itself, so you're dealing double damage, extra hyper. We're just blowing all of our bombs. We're not using hyper because we need a hyper to set up our Hibachi. I'm okay with dipping all of our bombs because the real thing that matters is the hyper. So I'm trying to kill this without blowing 1 more bomb, so we have an auto bomb worth of leeway once we hit Hibachi, but you're supposed to not see the section by then. I think if I would have stood still there, it would have been fine. Okay, it's been a disaster, but we have hyper going into Hibachi. The first pattern is the hardest pattern of the whole thing. We basically get the washing machine equivalent right off the bat. Look at this shit. At this exact point, we need to hyper early, even though we didn't need it at that point, because early on, we need to hold shots, so this is even remotely dodgeable. These are the hardest dodges we'll have to do in the whole game right now. Because we popped hyper early, we're going to cancel the ending part of here, and it's going to set us up so that we could be up and building hyper on the boss after we get this cancel. Sweet, we made it through the dodge, we move up. Unfortunately, the next one aimed directly fucking down, so we died. Now I'm trying to get to where I would be if I didn't get tagged. It's going to alternate directions, so we get in a lane, get in a lane. Whoa, I went in a really... I did not get hit. I pop hyper here because we're supposed to hyper to make that cut easier. Now, our damage is so far behind, we need to do point blank, and our hyper cancels are going to be slightly off timed. Luckily, it just barely worked there, but I kind of need to do this dodge faster so we didn't get hit. We're trying to get back on. We moved up too fast. So now at this point, you would like pop a hyper, and you get through this whole thing, and then you're on to the next phase. You kill it by now. We need to pop true bombs so that we get through here. And I'm just going to use hyper here because not only are we building a ton of meter, but this section is the best point blanking section because the next section before it loops back to the start is really fucking, you do get no damage. It just kills all of your resources. So we hyper there to kill it fast. Now we get to relax. It doesn't look like we need to relax because look at this shit. This shit is incomprehensible, but luckily this is actually the most relaxing part of the game because we're not expected to actually dodge these for very long. So we kind of just get to see how long can we dodge this for, and then it'll just auto-bomb, and then we do it again, and we keep looping that over and over. There's two strategies that I found. I just do whichever one of them feels right in the pattern. Either you get in the lane of these like purple ones as they're moving across. You see how they're kind of moving clockwise or counterclockwise. You just move along with those and move up or down around the blue bullets. Or you can sit in one spot like this, and you move like left and right to dodge the pink bullets, and then the blue bullets are easier to manage. Whenever you're lasering, the boss's lasers itself, that's what's actually spawning the blue bullets. So what you want to do every time you get hit and spend a bomb, so like we'll get here pretty soon. We last a long time. We're going to laser last second, so we have this leeway here. So we do some damage without any scary blue bullets. Now they're all here, and we just got to do hero dodges as best we can. It's actually way more fun. This is like the funnest Hibachi final pattern I've found. Because we have so many resources by this point. Everything has been a disaster on both these TLBs and the Stage 2-5. But like we still have so many resources that this is the part where we get to just see, oh man, how fast can we kill Hibachi? Can we do some crazy dodges here? It's oddly like... It's easily my favorite final Hibachi pattern. I don't think this is my favorite Hibachi, but I do like that final pattern a lot. It's really satisfying, and it's oddly enough, it's like easier to see than you think. You can last a shockingly long time there, despite how incomprehensible it looks. It's nothing like the TLB final pattern in like Mushi Ultra, like first Mushi. Oh, we finally made it there. While we did do really good on 2-1 to 2-4, not making any real mistakes, and then we just dumped a shit ton of errors on the TLBs and a 2-5, we still had like several bombs there, 2 lives. We ended the game with 3 lives total, so we could have royally fucked up like a lot more on this run. And that's what really makes this run, even though the execution's kind of crazy, it takes a long time to learn the routing that you need to do. This is what the Emote one kind of looks like, by the way. You get the shadow there whenever you enter the loop. That's how you know you hit Emote and not URA. It's like oddly... So I would put this... It's like oddly not a bad loop at all. And for proof of that, we first shot it. This was our first run that I ever did on stream. And we cleared the loop. Honestly, the loop requirement is probably what'll get you in reset hell. More than anything else, as soon as you hit the loop, if you've routed it, it goes smoothly, and if it doesn't go smoothly, your route isn't fucked because you just auto bomb, and then like you're still on the route. You don't lose your hyper or anything. Everything is still good. So interesting to all. It's in a weird spot compared to the other ones. It was pretty fun. It took a really long time. It took me like a month. Anyway, I hope that was either entertaining or helpful. If God help you want to try this one. Thanks for making it to the end. Good luck on all the runs that you're planning on doing.